Well, hello there again, boys and girls. AKA Charlie Barley here with another live video of me demonstrating my team play system. The team play system that I use to make a few people a lot of money. All right. Basically, what I do is you just sign up for a session. I'm looking for 20 to 30 people who are devoted to making money. And what I'm doing is showing you how I play this system that I've developed. Something that it's the systems that I sell on my website, permutationspro.com, is a combination of all of that, just made into one big, huge anomaly. And so far, I mean, well over 10,000 spins. I haven't lost anything. And the cool thing about this particular way of play is because it's taken so long to lose. What that means is that if, let's just assume that the game took me to all 16 progressions, right? Which, by the way, I'm up to 8 progressions now. I had one of my students, well, not so much a student, one of the persons in my session, they went up as high as 18. Not 18. But they were up there. All right, so well, basically, this is the method that I use to get people winning. And my whole objective is to get you making $1,000 every week, 4 days out of the week, preferably Monday through Thursday. Basically, what you do is just follow my patterns. And as I was saying earlier, if we should somehow get all the way through our initial bankroll, so as long as you have insurance, you can make most of it, if not all of it, up back in that same session, because the anomalies are incredibly rare. If you've been watching my game, you understand my philosophy. You know that the game works in patterns and that the game is limited. There is zero question about that. There are only 37, 38 variables in the entire game, and these variables can be broken down in patterns, point blank and simple. If you guys are not getting this, it's because you're not studying it enough, you're not being patient enough, and you're not practicing it enough. You're not thinking about it enough. For those people who do that, you're never going to be successful at this. So, and I'm willing to bet that you're probably using the same approach in everything you do. But the reason I'm putting all these videos up and showing you all this stuff is because it absolutely works. So for the remainder of the video, I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking. I am just going to simply just play. So what I want you to look for is not so much of the wins, but more so the progressions. You'll never see me go beyond 12. 12 is the in terms of direct play. Okay, most of the progressions, sometimes I'll win right on the top. I'm not even going to showcase and even tell you the numbers. I'm just going to be playing in the columns, just leisurely playing. And the reason I'm not going to be doing so much talking, I say that, but you know, I don't want you guys to be too bored, because it can be boring if if it's just music and you're just watching this wheel, not really knowing what's going on. And the thing of it is that I have to I guess I need to be entertaining, because the thing is, right now I don't see anything for us to really make a bet on, and it's not a system that you can play every spin. Even though I developed Permutations some years ago, you can play Permutations in a way that I do play every spin, but it still has a undefined threshold. The way that I'm playing this has a defined threshold of patterns, and I know which way it's gonna go. That's the biggest difference. All right, so while the game is moving on, I am looking for anomalies. I'm looking for it to, like I've said in other videos, there are like 2 to 15 different anomalies that generally show up within an hour. You can be patient and you can wait on those anomalies. These anomalies I know come in the hour because of the way the game is built. There are certain that was loud. There are certain let me see if I can cut that down. Where is the button, the sound button? But anyway, there are certain anomalies that are in the game that if you have a strategy that may take 2 or 3 hours to come, So that's no good either. You need a strategy if you're playing in permutations that you can go to the breaking point of a threshold and know that you're there. For example, red was been stated to come, what is this, 2014? All right, so we're going to put our monies on here. If I were betting, I'd be doing something like this. Just to don't get so caught up into really the money either. I mean, more so, I'm more focused on dozens three, but based upon what I'm seeing here, this area is kind of prime for to be hit. So I'm just putting that there just in case it hits it on the first lick. Sometimes I'm right, generally on the first lick. When I'm wrong, I go through progressions, and that's the whole point of progressions, is to cover up when you've made a mistake in calculation. Most people who if you have the nerve to play like this, you know how much exposure this is. So you really kind of got to know what you're doing to be able to break the game down like this and still make it under 12 progressions. Sometimes, you know, at the first or second. Well, I mean, we still won that, but we didn't necessarily. So this is the reason why I say I don't play. If I did this, the game is just longer. That's the reason why I play dozens. All right, so that was what number? 32. All right, and while I'm doing this, I'm actually writing all this stuff down because to do this effectively, you need to write it down. And also, by the way, so let me talk about team play. So I'm looking for 20 to 30 people, and the only thing you got to do is make the session times. My whole objective is to safely guide you into making $500 to $1,000 a week. It's actually kind of simple. It breaks down to about $50 an hour. You really only have to play 4 hands to make that 50, maybe 5 hands. And there are a couple things that we'll do to ensure that you can get that. It's really like we could play this method and you're going to get it with this method. But there's a couple other things to make it easier and to make it faster, actually, that we'll do for 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. It literally is a part-time job. So if you're interested in that, I really hope that you look at the videos that I'm producing and look at how the seamlessness it adds it in terms of it flowing. Does it mean that you don't progress into 7 or 8? Absolutely. But you don't have to make that. You don't have to progress that high. You really don't. You can just be patient. Like, these anomalies come all the time. So when you're actually on a team play, you need to be cognizant of that, because some people want to make a lot more than you. So what I'm going to do is just tell you what to play and where your progressions stand. If you want to wait later, then you can wait, and that way you can play higher at a much shorter progression. So, for example, like I would have told you to play, say, dozens 2. This will be the first progression. Well, if you wanted to skip this, fine. But if we win, then you just have to wait again. But if you skipped it and we don't win, then you would have saved money on that first progression. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is that these anomalies come frequent enough, and they're actually on the edge, meaning like red went 27 times straight. Okay. That is, like, for example, just 1, 2, but red went 27 times straight. Okay. What other anomalies, and that's the record, what other anomalies can stretch the game that far that doesn't take 2 or 3 years to happen? That's the question. Do you know how to break that down? Well, I think I've broken it down. And that's the reason I'm showing you this, and I want a small team to prove it. Right now, I have a couple of people who are a part of the team play, and every single one of them are making money. I mean, at least if they're losing money, it ain't because the strategy sucked, okay, at all. You know, sometimes I'll say this too. One of my students, and he may be listening to this, but we sometimes say add extra cheese on our Whopper, meaning if we see an opportunity to make more money, we'll shoot for it. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll be dead spot on every time, but for the most part, I'm pretty much right. However, this time we decided to take a bigger stab at it, and he actually put a little bit too much cheese on the Whopper, which is not a big problem. The problem is not the cheese on the Whopper. All right, so let's do this. Let me see if I can. Oh, let me change that. I'm going to go. This is going to be, I normally would have, like if I was playing by myself, I would do this. But since I'm not playing by myself and would be playing with teams, I would tell you to put whatever dollars you want, whatever your progression is going to be, to put it on dozens one. Or you can skip this. So if we lose this and you skip this, this would be a progression you would have saved. Okay. And you can wait until it's gone 3 or 4 progressions before you start to play. That way you can play a higher minimum and a lower progression amount and still make just as much, if not more money. I hope that makes sense. For example, if you were playing $1 here, like just $1 on dozens one, and you lost it, and say you won the second progression, well, you might have would have made $1. But let's assume that you allowed the game to lose the first 4 progressions. Okay, and 7, boom. All right, so you guys see what I'm talking about? I'm gonna do one more. Ooh, well, maybe not. Reason I'm saying maybe not is because me looking at the board of numbers, we may be in for, well, let's just see. Let's just see. It may not be. 1, 2, 3. Technically, let me try something. I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna put. This is kind of out. This is outside of the team play. I just want to see something though. 3. Just want to see what happens right here. I have a feeling we may be coming back in here again. It's kind of outside of the what I normally would do, but just wanted to see what happens. But nonetheless, give it a couple spins, and if I think we could see something else. But basically what I'm looking at right now with the last 7, 14, 20, and 32, or 12 and 32, based upon that, we may have to wait 5 or 6 spins or more. Don't want to make this a long video because I'm going to be doing these quite frequently. Yeah, actually, with that coming up like that, we would have to wait a little longer. So I'm just going to make this the end of the video. But yeah, folks, I think you kind of get a picture of what I do. We do this. We only have to do 5, 6. And the cool thing is, if you're playing on Bovada, you can do 2 screens. You can play 2 games. But going back to my original conversation about cheese on Whoppers. So when we were putting extra cheese on our Whopper, we have to always make sure that we have an extra cheese in our bank account. And I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying that there are opportunities in this game, but just make sure that you have enough in your account to do that kind of business. This is a business, okay? So think in terms of business. You want to do big business, just make sure we have some bigger money, all right? Because you can win. And he knows we could win. I just want to tell everyone else who's doing anything that I've done before. A lot of my students in past know exactly what I mean by that. But just make sure you guys have, you don't necessarily have to have insurance, meaning an additional bankroll if you should lose. But only thing that is, it's an insurance liability. That's all it is. So just think of an extra bankroll or double the bankroll as insurance. Okay, that's all it is. Doesn't mean you're going to bust out today or maybe next month or 2 months or whatever. But with the way we play, it's going to be difficult to lose anyway. But assuming that if there is a chance for that to happen, the money could be made up if right within that session. And because the anomalies for us to lose, it has to do something that I've never seen ever. So, and it's all, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just incredibly statistically rare. by the numbers, and I've studied this over and over. It's the only reason I'm able to depict these columns as quick as I am. It's also able, but sometimes I do go into a longer streak. Sometimes I go to 7, sometimes I go to 8. But again, there's another way to beat that. We don't have to play the first 2 progressions. So as long as we're patient, and like I said, the cool thing about Bovada, you can play on 2 screens at a time. My last thing is that if you want to do this and you are playing, say, on 5 dimes, or you're at another anywhere, you can text so as long as you you email me, permutationspro@gmail.com, let me know what works best for you. And then in terms of you being able to text it, the hours, you just need to let me know the time. And so as long as it works, I'll create a session for you. The only thing you have to do is just text the numbers to me, and then I will let you know in the next 2 spins, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. Okay, so just keep this all in mind. Just wanted to show you real quick, just make another video showing you guys what we're doing here. I'm really excited for the current group that I have. I want to grow it to 20 to 30. Once I get that, my objective is to get you paid. Okay, because the way I work is I work on tips. And the only reason I'm able to do this, work on tips, is because I'm pretty solid in what I'm doing. All right, so if I can make you $1,000, just give me a nice good tip, and we'll do this every week. And I'm going to continue to make videos like this showing you exactly how this thing spins and how it works. So continue to watch. If you have any questions, hit me up on permutationspro.com, or you can call us at 855-PERM-PRO, PERMPRO, or the website permutationspro.com. Until the next time, take care.